Let's address Bharti now. Singtel is set to transfer 3.3% stake to Airtel promoter Bharti Telecom for a sum of 12,900 crore rupees as the promoter entity look to hike stake in company. Now, the issue here is, will this be an off-market transaction? Because going by the amount that they have mentioned, the reverse calculation works out to 650 to 660 rupees per share. What does that mean going forward? Naveen Kulkarni is joining us. He's CIO at Axis Securities. Naveen, good morning. In general, if a promoter increases stake, that's seen as positive. I mean, the domestic promoter. What's your view on this deal, irrespective of the fact that it's getting done at 650, 660?
Yeah, so clearly it was a fairly large block, and the promoter buying it out is a positive, right? So Bharti, of course, Bharti promoters have been with the company for a very long period, and the support, of course, has been very, very consistent. So I think them increase is definitely a positive, which means they are here for a much, much longer term, right? So I view this transaction positively from a perspective of the promoters increasing the stake and also the overhang going out of the market of such a large block coming into the market.
Naveen, good morning. So at the 745 price for Bharti Airtel, how does the risk reward look for a long-term investor?
See, Bharti is a consistent compounder, right? So because this is a market which has just two players and then there is Vodafone Idea, right? So from that perspective, from a long-term perspective, if you look at it, the telecom industry will grow at a certain pace and Bharti will keep benefiting from that. So from that perspective, it's a fairly defensive stock and it will compound at around 12 to 15% over the long term. So this reward from current levels still looks attractive to me.
The Singtel getting out, as Nimesh was explaining to us, Naveen, is basically they seem to be kind of paring back across regions where they operate in. So nothing very special about what they're doing here in that sense. Rationalizing their holding markets as well.
Yeah, so I think that's the broader theme, right? So it's generally we have seen that the Singapore-based companies have been reducing their exposure globally, right? So, so from that perspective, it's not something which is very, very odd. And Singtel, of course, has been reducing its strategic stakes across the region. So this is pretty much in line with their long-term strategy.
A word on, in general, the sector, Naveen, because maybe the price hikes haven't been, to the tune that the companies hoped for it would be, or the market thought it would be, say, last year. Any view on that?
So, as far as market price hikes are concerned, I think these are typically step function based kind of issues, right? So they don't necessarily happen in a very, very linear manner. They will probably happen once in 2 years, once in a year, right? So it's very, very difficult to predict that event when all the parties see the right time, right? Because everybody has to agree about the market conditions, right? And one player increases, it doesn't work, the other player tries, right? So it keeps happening, and probably at some point in time there is that everybody sees the market conditions in a similar manner. So it's a very, very difficult aspect to predict, but.
Okay, I think we snapped that line with Naveen, but I think we got the gist of what he's trying to say, both on the deal as well as on Bharti itself. He says it's a consistent compounder and will continue to grow given that there are just two players now virtually left in this space. But for the market,